Hey boys, it's Bird here, and today in the background I got about a 20 kill gameplay for you, and I want to go over my current thoughts about the state of Warzone and why I may finally be done with the game for good. Back when Warzone was released, it was something entirely on its own and in a different class from other Battle Royale games at the time. Warzone was unique because unlike most Battle Royale games, you actually had more than one chance to win the game, and if your teammates were able to pick up your slack, you could still make a comeback. That was pretty fucking cool at the time, but quickly after release we started seeing these blatant cheaters running around Verdansk, headshotting you through a wall, getting 50 kill games and ruining the entire player experience for every player, whether it be console or PC. For a time there, we all told ourselves, oh, Activision will fix this. There's no way they're going to let one of the best Battle Royale games of all time be ruined by a cheater. But then a few months went by, and the cheating was still as prevalent as ever, if not worse. And now people were running only wall hacks and not aimbot to get a massive advantage on the playing field. Let's take that thought into consideration and just think about how much an advantage wall hacks could give to an above average player. Knowing exactly where every enemy is such a huge advantage it can't even be put into words. Knowing that the final team of the game is on top of the dam and not at the bottom of the dam could be the difference between winning and losing. Knowing that you shouldn't peek Superstore because there's a team on top of Superstore gives you enough information to rotate into zones safely without worry. And this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Warzone's cheating problems. Warzone's cheating problem has almost become like a plague that has moved across the battlefield, covering every player's thoughts in a fog of doubts and disbelief. Players shortly after discovering that cheating in an online game could be so easy, they figured that their favorite streamers were probably cheating as well. This concept to have in your head seems harmless at first until you realize that every time you die to someone in Warzone, you have the thought in the back of your head that they may be cheating. Maybe they're not aimbotting, maybe they're only wall hacking, which is just as bad. And not only does this cause doubt for you when you're trusting that you died to a legitimate reason, but it also makes it super suspicious to trust that your favorite content creators aren't fudging their gameplay to give it just a little more spice. The cheating factor alone makes it hard to trust any gameplay put out by any creator, whether it be small or big, and is a very big disincentive to want to play the game at any competitive level, knowing that your fans or other competitors may not trust your gameplay as authentic and trustworthy. 1 year after the release of Warzone, you would have thought that the problems surrounding cheating would have gotten better. You're wrong. The problem only became a hidden parasite, something that is bothering you and you don't even know it. Yeah, you may have 5 or 6 games a day where you don't see a cheater, but I can guarantee you, whether you know it or not, you're running into these low-life sacks of shit. Maybe you're not getting your experience ruined by it, but someone else is, and the problem can be detrimental to gaming. Once the Cold War update came out, there was an influx of guns into the battlefield of Verdansk, and we quickly realized how absurdly broken these new weapons were. Let's start with the Day 1 gun, the DMR. The DMR was so obnoxiously broken that at first, don't quote me on it, but I believe it killed in 2 shots to the head at any range. Before the DMR, we was using the Kilo 141, which was taking nearly a full clip of ammo to both down someone and finish them off. With 1 clip from the DMR, you could wipe an entire team and have ammo in the clip without reloading to fight another team. Not to mention that the scopes that people were using on the DMR, although classified as 3X scopes, were actually 6X sniper scopes, comparable much more to the Kar 98 scope than to the VLK 3X optic from Modern Warfare that we were used to. This 6X scope made it much easier for controller players to absolutely decimate the battlefield, and much harder for keyboard and mouse players to compete at a high level. We began to see that one of the only big streamers still playing on mouse and keyboard was Huskers, and this trend would stay around for a while. After 3 to 4 weeks of patiently waiting and probably 4 nerfs to the DMR, it was finally nerfed into the ground and became another worthless weapon on the floor of Verdansk. But quickly after the nerf, another gun came to take its place and would be just as bad, of course. I'm talking about the FFAR. The FFAR suffered from the same issue that the DMR had, and that was that it was just too powerful. Bear in mind that the FFAR is designated as an assault rifle and is designed for mid to long range use. People quickly realized that the weapon was powerful enough to kill someone in approximately 5 bullets up close, and they began using the assault rifle as a submachine gun instead. And once again, keyboard and mouse players couldn't compete. The FFAR stayed on top of the damage meters for about 2 months. It was finally nerfed, but retained a very good damage profile and is still usable to this day. Now let's move on to the terrible audio in the game, which in my opinion has some of the worst audio in any game I've ever played. The audio in Warzone has got to be one of the worst audio design games of all time. If there was any footsteps at all, good fucking luck figuring out where they're coming from. You can sometimes hear people walking, but if they're above or below you, it kind of sounds the same. There's no reason with the amount of money that Activision is bringing in from Warzone that they can't revamp the audio in this game, and it honestly irritates me to the core that I can't use any audio cues to figure out where people are 90% of the time. There's also a field upgrade called Dead Silence that is very common from loot boxes and for dance that will make you completely silent. This in itself may not be so crazy until you factor in that every kill you get with Dead Silence activates an extended duration of Dead Silence, making it possible for a good player to kill an entire team with only one Dead Silence. Let's move on to the next topic, and that's performance. The performance of Warzone is fucking terrible. There's no other way to describe it. Most high-end PCs are going to be getting anywhere between 100 to 120 FPS on Warzone. If you're lucky enough to have an RTX 3090, you may get between 160 and 180 FPS, but with every update they put out, these numbers get worse. Bear in mind that I'm not complaining about bad performance in a game, I'm complaining about the fact that people are spending $5,000 on a computer to still not get 240 FPS in a game. The game is so grainy and shadowy that half of the time you can't see the enemy player, and this has been a very big problem with the Rose character in the game for a very long time, and they just don't give a shit to fix it. And I don't think they ever will. If you're not running the game using NVIDIA filters, with good fucking luck seeing anything unless you like having your face buried in your monitor. It's sad that you have to make the game look like dog shit to be able to see better, and once again I highly doubt they will ever fix these issues. This pretty much sums up the video and covers most of the issues plaguing Warzone at the time of this video. I love the game and have had a blast playing the game, but I just don't feel like any of these problems will ever see a fix. It has been over a year now and I'm still waiting. We're still seeing cheaters, we're still seeing broken guns, we still can't hear our opponents, and our expensive computers are still running this game like shit. I'm sorry for the rant, but I had to make this video eventually. Until the next time, don't be fucking cheating, man.